Thanks for watching, and as always, glory, glory Man United. Hey everyone, welcome back to the MUFC Corner, where we dive deep into everything happening on and off the pitch at Manchester United. And today, we've got something that's going to spark some serious debate. Dan Ashworth, the man many saw as the key to rebuilding United, is not coming to Old Trafford, at least not yet. Instead, he's reportedly returning to the Football Association. Now let's break it all down and talk about what this means for United's future, what's happening behind the scenes, and whether this is a missed opportunity, or maybe even a lucky escape. So, who is Dan Ashworth, and why does his name keep popping up in every United rebuild conversation? Ashworth has built a strong reputation in English football circles. Most fans first heard of him during his time as technical director at the FA, where he helped transform England's youth and senior systems. He played a big role in creating the England DNA, a long-term development plan that's helped bring through stars like Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, and Phil Foden. He's also had success at the club level, first at West Brom, where he helped build a stable recruitment structure, and later at Brighton, where his eye for talent really stood out. The players Brighton signed under his direction, think Moises Caicedo, Alexis Mac Allister, and Marc Cucurella, went on to become key assets for the club and moved on for big money. After that, he moved to Newcastle United, where he was seen as a crucial part of their post-takeover transformation. He helped bring in the likes of Sven Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, and Alexander Isak, signings that not only improved the squad but did so without breaking financial fair play rules. So it's no surprise that when INEOS came into the picture at Manchester United, Dan Ashworth became one of the first names on their wish list. He's seen as someone who could build a modern football operation, the kind United has lacked for years. But here's where it gets tricky. Ashworth left his job at Newcastle earlier this year, which looked like the first step in a move to Manchester United. But Newcastle were not going to let him go easily. They put him on gardening leave, essentially saying, "Okay, you want to leave? But you're sitting out for months unless we're paid a big compensation fee." Reports say Newcastle wanted around £20 million to release him early. That's a huge amount, even for a club like United. The negotiations dragged on, with neither side backing down. And now, instead of waiting for everything to be resolved, Ashworth has accepted a temporary return to the FA. He's expected to help oversee preparations for England's campaigns at Euro 2024 and to the 2025 Women's Euros. So it's not a long-term move, but it definitely takes him off the table for now. This move tells us a lot. First of all, it means that United will not have a full-time sporting director in place ahead of the summer transfer window. And that's a huge problem. Because if there's one thing we know about United in recent years, it's that the lack of a clear football strategy has cost us. In transfers, in squad balance, and in results. Think about all the money we've spent over the past decade, hundreds of millions, and yet the squad still looks disjointed at times. One manager wants pressing players, the next wants possession-based guys, and we end up with a team that's caught between styles. That's exactly the kind of thing a good sporting director is supposed to fix. Ashworth was supposed to be that guy, someone to work above the manager, identify talent, build a long-term plan, and create footballing consistency across the club. So, does this mean United missed their chance? Not necessarily. Ashworth's return to the FA might be temporary. Some believe it's just a way for him to stay active and involved in the game while waiting for a permanent resolution with Newcastle. If United and Newcastle eventually agree on a fee, maybe something more reasonable, Ashworth could still join United later this year. But the timing is now a problem. INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have talked about giving United a proper football structure. And that structure was supposed to start taking shape this summer. Now, it looks like the rebuild will begin without a sporting director, which means decisions about transfers and contracts will either be rushed or fall back on existing staff, the same ones who've been criticized in the past. There's also the question of who's making the big calls at United right now. Sir Dave Brailsford has been involved, along with Jean-Claude Blanc and, of course, Sir Jim himself. But none of them have the direct football experience that someone like Ashworth brings. That lack of football knowledge at the top has been a problem for years at United, and it's one of the main reasons fans were excited about the INEOS takeover in the first place. Now, with Ashworth out of the picture, even if temporarily, there's uncertainty again. So let's ask the big question. Should United move on and find someone else? There are other names out there. Paul Mitchell, who's worked at Monaco, Leipzig, and Spurs, is often mentioned. Others like Michael Edwards, the brains behind Liverpool's recruitment, have also been linked. But finding someone as respected and experienced as Ashworth isn't easy. And with every passing week, United are losing valuable time ahead of what could be a crucial summer. It's not just about signings. It's about contracts, academy structure, loan plans. All of it needs vision and leadership. That's what a sporting director provides. From Ashworth's perspective, the move back to the FA makes sense. It keeps him active, gives him a meaningful role, and lets him stay in the spotlight without committing to any club just yet. But from United's perspective, it feels like yet another delay in the rebuild we've all been waiting for. So where do we go from here? Let's be honest, INEOS knew this rebuild would take time. They've talked about doing things the right way, not just throwing money at problems. But if they want to be taken seriously by fans and by the wider football world, they'll need to make a decision soon, either meet Newcastle's asking price, wait out the gardening leave, or go all in on another candidate. Because right now, United need leadership more than ever, not just on the pitch, but in the boardroom too. So I'll throw it over to you guys. What do you think? Should United keep waiting for Ashworth and pay whatever it takes? Or should they move on and find someone else before the summer window opens? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from the MUFC Corner.